Hey guys, how you doing? Hopefully you're doing okay. I'm going to give you an overview of this situation, this case, this article. There is a link in the description. Going to give you an overview, but going to keep things fairly brief, I think. And then I'm going to go into somewhat of a rant or somewhat of a question that I have. So I'll give you an overview to begin with. This is an incident that happened in a town called Fishhawk, Florida. There's a few question marks there. We don't know all of the pieces to the puzzle. But essentially, this guy here, David Daniels, 37 years of age, has been arrested and charged with 2 counts of false imprisonment of a child and child abuse. In essence, he seemingly was trying to kidnap 2 young children. Both girls, as far as we're aware, he's a complete stranger to them as far as we're aware. So, in some sense, it seems like a random attack, or that they were chosen by random, perhaps. But that's speculation on my part. I might have that part incredibly wrong. But in any case, the incident occurred outside of this restaurant here again, Fishhawk, Florida. And essentially, 2 young girls, we don't know their ages, but 2 young girls were on their bikes. And then all of a sudden, this weirdo walks behind them, and before you know it, he's hit one of the girls over the head, struck her over the head, and the other child he's put in a headlock. Yeah? He doesn't know these 2 children, seemingly, as far as we understand. He's hit one of them over the head, he's put the other in a headlock. Now, if I understand correctly, and as I say, the article doesn't paint a complete picture, so this might be a little bit inaccurate, but if I understand correctly, there was a woman standing outside of a local church. It must have been in this vicinity here, and she saw this play out, seemingly, and she saw one of the young children mouth to her, "Please help me, this is not my dad." So thank goodness that that little girl had the forethought, the gumption to do exactly that, to mouth at the woman standing outside of a local church, "Please help me, this is not my dad." So this woman acted like a hero. She welcomed this psycho, as well as the 2 children, into the church. Seemingly, she managed to find the opportunity to call the authorities, but she welcomed them into the church to have a nice little chat. And she engaged with this guy with a conversation. "Oh, have you moved here recently? Why have you moved here? Oh, that's interesting. Tell me more." She kept him engaged. Seemingly, she had the opportunity to call the police, but she kept him engaged in conversation, seemingly until the police arrived, and they arrested him. And with that, the 2 children were returned to their mother, safe and sound. Really, due to the actions, the brave actions of this hero woman, who acted in the best possible way when she saw that young child saying, "Please help me, this is not my dad." When she saw the young child mouth those words, this hero woman responded in the best possible way. She distracted this guy, called the police, and waited for the police to arrest this guy. So that's really the details of the article, the situation, other than to add he's been held on a $104,000 bond, which I'm going to say is way too low. Hey, Florida, don't you think that you ought to permanently incarcerate those that attempt to abduct children? Don't you think you should not give them a bond, Florida? Perhaps have a little think about that, Florida. I think allowing somebody the opportunity to pay 10%, 20% of the bond amount, such that it would be $10,000, $20,000, is too low an amount for someone who has abducted and abused 2 young children. That would be my feeling. Those are the full details of the article, pretty much. But now I'm going to go on to my rant, okay? Um, and here it is. So essentially, I want to know more about this guy. I want to know more. Here's what I want to know about this guy. I want to know about his mental health history. I want to know if he's been diagnosed with a serious mental illness, such as schizophrenia, bipolar, whatever it is. Now, if I was to read, oh, by the way, guys, this guy is a complete fucking nutbag. He's been in and out of psychiatric facilities his entire adult life. Yeah, he suffers from schizophrenia, bipolar, and whatever else. I'm going to read that and go, oh, okay, he's a nutbag. And I'm going to be able to accept that. I'm going to be able to mentally accept that. I'm going to be able to mentally process that. And I'll be able to get on with my day without really giving it too much thought. Don't get me wrong, and I know that you won't. I'm not in any way saying it's okay for the mentally ill to commit such heinous acts. It's not, of course, naturally, and I know you don't think that's what I'm inferring. But I just mean in regards to being able to understand this and being able to have this situation work with my understanding of the world. If I know that this guy is an absolute fucking sick in the head mentaloid, and I apologize, I guess, if my terminology is a little bit offensive, but I'm speaking casually. If I'm aware that he has a mental health issue, if he has mental health issues, I can understand and process this situation. If I was aware that he was a human trafficker, if he was a part of a human trafficking network, and it was his intent to sell the children, or even to do worse, to force them to do things that I don't even want to think about or mention. If he was involved in the human trafficking trade, then obviously that would be incredibly evil. But that would be something that I could understand. Is my rant a little bit weird? I'm going to carry on with it. If he was a psychopath and he was planning on killing these children, then even then I can fucking understand it. Do you know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that's a good thing at all in any way, shape, or form. But I can understand that. We know that these things happen. But here's where I'm coming from, right? To me, and I could be completely wrong with this, by the way. To me, this guy looks like a normal guy. I don't fucking know. I just see the same image that you see. This 1.5 inch by 1.5 inch picture here. That's all I see. But he seems like a normal guy to me. He's walking down a very nice suburb, by the look of it, to me. Fishhawk, Florida, outside of this restaurant. It looks very nice to me. I don't know. Am I completely wrong here? I might well be, but I'm just presuming a certain level of normalcy from this guy. That's what I'm presuming. He's not a human trafficker. Here's how I know he's not a human trafficker. And he's also not a psychopathic murderer. Here's how I know he's not a psychopathic murderer. He allowed himself to be, let's say, manipulated by the hero woman that was standing outside of the church, who, let's say, manipulated, positively so, engaged him in conversation. Now, if he were a human trafficker and he was planning on selling the children or forcing them into criminal activity, or if he was a psychopathic murderer and planning to kill the children, he would not have allowed himself to have a nice little chat with this lady in the church. So those two things, forget about that. It's possible that he is mentally ill. It's possible that he has a history of mental illness. It's possible, and I really want to be told that. Because if I'm not told that, if it is the case that he does not have a mental illness, then doesn't that leave open the possibility that this is a normal guy? That this perhaps could be a law-abiding citizen who's a normal part of society, who goes to work, pays taxes, votes, does normal things. And all of a sudden, just like that, he's gone into this whole new world of non-normalcy. I'm being a conspiracy theorist here, and this is my own theory. I've not really read about this or anything, but I do have this grave concern that some people are losing self-control. I just get this feeling that there are people out there, some of these crimes that we're going over, they're not about career criminals. They're not about those that suffer mental illness. A lot of them are about people that are normal, and then they do these outrageous things. I made a video an hour ago about a driver attempted to drive directly into a crowd of children. He seemed like, I mean, I'm guessing once more, I'm presuming that that was a normal guy, not a career criminal, not somebody with mental health issues. A normal guy doing an outrageously violent thing. And this, to me, just, I don't know, there's something about it which gives me that same sense. This is a normal guy, I think. And don't get me wrong, this scares the fuck out of me. I hope he isn't normal. I hope he does have mental health issues. If he does, then I can understand this and I can just move on with the rest of my day with the same worldview. But if it turns out that he isn't, if it turns out that this is like a moment of madness, then it leaves open the question as to what the fuck is going on in the world to cause normal people to do outrageously insane things of various kinds. So anyway, that's my theory. I know I've rambled on quite a lot. Am I a complete idiot? I hope I am, man. I really hope that the next week we see an update. Turns out David Daniels has bipolar or schizophrenia or this or that and is an absolute weirdo. Let's hope that turns out to be the case. Because if it isn't, if it's a normal guy and this is what a normal guy does, we are fucked, man. The world is fucked. I'm going to wrap things up here at this point. Please do like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what a weird theory I have. Thanks.